Okay, so you are welcome to turn off your screen. You won't be on the recording no matter what you decide to do, but if you want, you can go dark. It's fine. Thanks for coming, everybody, on this snowy day. Maybe it's snowy where you are. It was sticking this morning here, so I took pictures of the tulips with snow covering them, which is kind of cool. Our theme today will just be allowing what is, which is kind of our theme every day when we're on our mat. But just kind of releasing control. So letting whatever comes up be there and letting our need to force things go, our need to control things and make things fit in a tiny little box. We're going to let all that go and just notice and be with the reality of the messiness, the chaos, and also our ability to stay grounded within that and strong and rooted and flexible amidst the chaos. So let's start by closing our eyes and finding your sit bones under you. You might be on a chair or you might be on the mat. You can rock back and forth, wiggle. Really notice your sit bones and then your legs on the surface in which you're sitting. And just start noticing your energy. So coming into an awareness that you are here in your body. That this is your vessel for this life. And that here you are, bringing to the mat whatever you're bringing, just notice. Maybe you ask yourself, how are you? You might put your hand over your heart as you're noticing and checking in with yourself and just say, I see you, or I feel you, or I am here. Giving yourself the attention that you might seek from others. Just bringing that I see you to yourself. And then start noticing the breath. And we'll just start deepening the breath towards the belly using the diaphragm. Allowing the belly to be soft and allowing the breath to really fill the belly. Let it rise with the inhale and let it fall with the exhale. And as you exhale, just noticing that when you exhale, you're settling into your body. And as you inhale, really allowing the breath, inviting it in instead of forcing, instead of sucking it in. Just allow the breath to fill you and then allow it to leave you slowly. And for a few more breaths, just noticing, watching the breath come in. Be the observer as it comes out. And feel yourself coming home to your body, coming home to this place right now. If you'd like to set an intention for the practice, go ahead. Just a reminder that only do what feels useful to you, whatever that is. Never ever force, never push, never do something that I suggest that doesn't feel good in your body. So I usually try to give modifications, please use them. And if you do have a strap and a ball, when we come to standing in a little bit, we'll use a ball to roll out our feet, and we'll use a strap a little bit for stretching. And I have a chair nearby too. You could also use a wall when we're up doing our balance work and a few poses if you need. All right, let us roll back onto our back and start on our backs again today, warming up our core. So go ahead and roll all the way back and find that neutral spine. So the magical place that we like to practice is with neutral. And that is a place somewhere between the full extension or lordosis of the spine. Tucking the tailbone down into the mat and arching the back will be that extension. And then tucking the tailbone up, pubic bone up, and flattening is max flexion. Going through that and then finding your middle where it feels good, comfortable, no pain, and just pausing there. And then taking another big breath into the belly. And as you exhale, drawing the lower stomach, the belly button and the lower belly, transverse abdominis down into the spine, tightening as you do not flatten the back. And then from this place, wherever you are in your practice, so the first level is just lifting one foot up and down, keeping neutral spine and keeping your belly contracted. Next, you might lift one leg and reach it out, keeping your back right where it is. If you've been doing this a while with me, or you have good strong core, bring your legs up unweighted and hold that. And you might do tapping of the toe down, one and then the other, keeping the neutral, keeping your core engaged, keeping the spine right where it is. So when we're on a nice hard surface, we can feel if it's rocking. And if it is, tighten up a little more in the belly or do a smaller movement or keep one foot on the ground. We always want to work right to our edge, but not past it. Our edge being where we lose neutral. If you want to, you can reach the leg out, bring it back in, and reach the other leg out. So doing a bicycle. About 30 more seconds wherever you are, keep breathing and notice the chest, notice the jaw, notice the neck. We do all sorts of funny things. Try to relax everything above the belly. So the ribs are down and everything above the ribs is just relaxed. Keep breathing, a few more. Drawing the belly in tighter every exhale, and then release, grab the knees or thighs and rock out back and forth. If you had your foot down, bring your knees up and just roll out the low back. All right. Now we're going to let the feet come down and we're going to break it up with doing bridging. So we're going to work our buns and activate our back muscles, and then we will come back to the belly. So making sure you feel your feet, check in with your feet. A lot of times we kind of lose our feet. So notice them on the mat and check in if they're hip distance apart and that your knees are also hip distance apart. Grounding through the feet, we're going to squeeze our butt together. And then with that squeeze held, so gluteus maximus squeezing, inhale, lift up, 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 all the way up into a bridge, as high as feels comfortable for your body. Hold there, take a big breath in and a full breath out as you hold and squeeze your glutes. Rounding through the foot, feeling that whole foot on the ground, relaxed at the neck and shoulders, and then slowly coming straight down. All right, on the next one, we're going to lift and do single leg challenge if you want. So squeeze the glutes together again, lift straight up. And if you want to, if you feel that you can, lift one foot up, make only your left leg balance and hold, and then switch and make only the right leg balance and hold. So one side of the glute, but we want to keep the pelvis really level and not drop as we go to single leg. And slowly down, and then relax all the way at the bottom. Just let go, don't hold anything. And then again, squeeze the glutes, inhale, lift. And single leg challenge, hold as long as you want. And then we're gonna do like 6 more about, it'll depend depending on how fast you're going. Try to move slowly, try to challenge yourself to move while you're breathing.
fully release at the bottom, and then squeeze again and lift, pushing through the feet, squeezing the glutes. The hamstrings are really not very involved here. If you're getting cramping in the hamstrings, which does happen for some people, try squeezing the glutes harder before you lift. The hamstrings being short and then trying to shorten some more to lift you. They're already short with the knee bent. It's just really hard, and they can't really do it. And then oftentimes they will cramp. So make the gluteus maximus do your work for you. Lift. Single challenge. Imagine I put a little cup of water on your belly button and it's not going to tip side to side. Nice and stable. Keep breathing and slowly down. Good. I'm going to be quiet for about 3 more while you just move with your breath, allowing, doing what feels right to you, challenging yourself, but not forcing. One. Nice work. Go ahead and come all the way down. Release the hips. We're going to let one leg go down straight and pull the other leg, bringing the knee up towards the chest. And we're just going to stretch it around in a little half circle. So bringing it over towards the opposite shoulder a little bit, and then up towards the chest and out to a place that feels comfortable within our hip. Just kind of periscoping our hip around in the socket, seeing what muscles stretch out. You'll feel your glutes stretching a little bit. You might feel those rotators that we stretched later with the figure 4 stretch. Just moving it around comfortably. You might do a full circle and then a full circle the other way. And then let that leg go down and switch legs, holding behind the thigh, not making the knee hyper bend. And then bringing it up towards the chest as far as feels comfortable and over towards the opposite shoulder, little half circles. And back out. And up and around, back towards the shoulder. Breathing and releasing tension through the hip as you do this. You might notice one side is different than the other, and then do a full circle in each direction. So coming down and up and around, and then the other direction. Good job. All right, coming back to the stomach, we're going to find our neutral real quick again and tighten the belly. And then we're going to unweight one leg and then the other and see if that is okay on your low back. If this is a good spot for you to be, you're just going to stay right here and breathe and hold the knees up. If you can and have long enough hamstrings, extend the legs a little bit. Hold that. And then, if you're ready, we're going to inhale and open up the place between the toes and the shoulders, opening the legs up, and then closing, pulling them back up overhead. Imagining there's a little string from the belly button to the toes. And as we lengthen the string, we inhale, don't lose neutral spine, go to that shaky edge. Exhale, pull it back, shortening the string. bringing the toes back over the belly. Inhaling open, try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Exhale, draw it back. If you have your knees bent, you can also open, inhale out. Exhale, draw the bent knees back towards the belly button. Couple more, inhale out. And exhale up. Last one, inhaling to your edge, hold it, and exhale, draw it back in. Beautiful. Bend your knees, let both legs come one at a time down to the mat, feet on the floor. Next, we're going to do obliques. So put your hands behind your head, and you can either keep your feet right down on the ground where they are, and just shorten up the oblique muscles by lifting shoulder and shoulder blade up off the floor and rotating a little bit towards the opposite hip. That's a good spot to be. It isolates the obliques really well. If you want to challenge, you can bring your legs up and go opposite while they are up. I like to then extend the leg that is on the same side as the shoulder I'm lifting. So I'm twisting to the right and my left leg extends because it kind of balances. Otherwise you kind of roll over or fall over. So you can do that as a challenge. Exhaling as you rotate. Inhaling, coming down flat. Exhale as you shorten the obliques at an angle. Inhale, coming flat. Do 4 more on each side. Exhale, twist. Inhale, flat. You are welcome to have your feet on the ground and still getting just as much benefit in your oblique muscles. Make sure you're supporting your head, not pulling on it, not yanking. All right, once you've done about 4, go ahead and lower the head, lower the feet one at a time if you're up, and widen the feet, wider than the mat. Bring your arms out to the side in a T with your palms facing up. Take a big breath and allow your knees to go to the right side, rotating over as far as they want to go, feeling a stretch of rotation in the spine and a little bit of a stretch through the sides, through the obliques, rotating. Keep the shoulder that is opposite the knees down on the mat. Try not to roll with the knees. Side to side, back and forth, like windshield wipers, but really, really, really slow. Going only as far as feels good. Again, a reminder just to kind of allow and be curious with your body about what does feel good and what doesn't. Never forcing, always just going to the edge of a challenge, never forcing past that edge, and never forcing into a stretch that doesn't feel good and useful. Let the knees come over to the left side, all the way down as far as you want, and reach that right arm up overhead. Reaching up overhead, try to press the right knee down as you reach up with the right arm, feeling a stretch in the front of the body. And bring the arm down and rotate the knees over to the right. Pressing now the left knee down into the floor and reaching the left arm up overhead. So the knees are over to the right, left one pressing especially down and left arm reaching up overhead. Feeling a stretch that is comfortable in the front of the spine and along the waist. And maybe all the way down the front of the leg into the knee, depending on where your body's at today. Big breath and then come back to center. Nice work. All right, we are going to come over onto all fours, hands and knees position. Finding your hands and knees, make a tabletop. So the knees are right underneath the hips. The elbows and wrists are right underneath the shoulders. And try to pull the belly button up now into the spine so that you have a nice stable tabletop, belly pulled up, really engaged in the core and really engaged at the shoulders. So pushing into the floor with the hands so that the shoulder blades are really engaged. Hold that position and find length in the spine. So top of the head going toward one wall, face is facing straight down toward the mat. Chin is a little bit tucked up into the jaw, just a little bit so that you really have length through the neck. And then tailbone reaches toward the other. Looks like you're doing nothing, but it should feel active, this reach. And then hold that position. Don't let the neck move. As you reach that left leg out straight and then lift it up in the frame of your body. Without twisting the body, try to keep the body still a tabletop and lower it down. Same thing on the right leg, reach it out and lift it up. Try not to twist. Doing just legs so that you can practice the not twisting, keeping the tabletop, using the glute, and then coming down. Let's do one arm, reach up, thumb up, reaching up, lifting the shoulder blade back and down as you bring the arm up. And then slowly down, left arm, shoulder blade comes back and down on those ribs as your arm comes up. Hold that and come down. And then we're going to combine it all together. Unless you want to just keep doing arm or just leg, that's totally fine. Left arm and right arm, or left leg and right arm can come up together, up, 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 in line with the body, reaching toes one way, fingertips the other. Take a full breath here, find your balance. Keep the face right down towards the mat, strong through that standing arm, and then slowly down. Right leg, left arm, lift together, thumb always facing up. Nice and stable on that standing arm. Belly is still engaged. Nice work. Keep going. We're going to do about 6 on each side. If you're going faster, you might get more done, but I'd rather you go slower and really pay attention to control, moving with the breath, having a full breath cycle when you're up, finding your balance. And slowly coming down. As you get tired, it's easy to sort of collapse into the standing arm. Stay really aware of that because we don't want to create a shoulder pain. Also easy to kind of let your tummy go. So check in with the belly again, pull that belly up towards the spine, use it to help stabilize you. And if you're doing legs only, you might switch to arms only now, or vice versa. If your arm doesn't like going all the way up, you're welcome to keep it lower. Always lift with the thumb to prevent impingement. You can bring it more out to like a 45-degree angle instead of straight overhead. And you can keep it lower. Make sure it's comfortable. Nice work. Finishing up. Reaching long, finding your balance, breathing. And the other side. Good job. All right. Go ahead and sit back into a child's pose or a prayer pose if your knees and hips don't like flexion this much.
But allow your head to come down, forehead to the mat, and take 3 big breaths there. You might let your shoulders have a rest, bringing them down by your side. Breathing deeply into the whole lung. As you release that breath, release your control, release the holding of your shoulders and your head, and let yourself be held in the mat. Breathing deeply each time, letting go a little more into the mat. Good. All right, pressing up again into that all four position. We are going to do a plank. You may do it on your elbows if you want, if your wrists are kind of tired out, or we can do it up on our hands, depending on how your wrists and shoulders are feeling. So coming into the all fours position first, and then we're just going to reach our toes back one at a time, toes tucked under, other toe tucked under, and just come into that plank position. Pushing away strongly with the hands, really, really active through the shoulders, long length from the heels to the top of the head, and just using your breath to hold this position. Pushing away, pushing away. Don't need to think about too many muscles, you just need to kind of keep the position, and that will do the trick. And when you're ready, lower the knees back down, coming into the all fours position. Let the arms rest, wiggle around. You might even sit up for a second and roll your wrists. I'm going to do this one more time. If your wrists are exhausted, you can come down onto your elbows. So bringing the elbows right under the shoulders, clasping the hands together, you can come into a plank there. So resuming plank, wherever you want to be. Pushing away, keeping the shoulders strong, long through the top of the head and through the toes, no, through the heels. Toes are under. Breathing deeply, holding, using the breath. So as it starts to feel tiring, say, okay, I can do this a little longer. Inhale deeply. And when you're ready, lower the knees down. And we are going to push back one more time just for a breath into child's pose. Reach your arms up overhead this time. Reach the arms opposite the hips and lengthen out the sides and the lats, reaching up and pulling the tailbone down opposite the hands. Big breath in, let it go. And come all the way up. Good job. All right, we are going to come onto our side, and we're going to do a side plank, which is difficult, but good. We're just going to do one on each side, and we will do the plank, and then we'll do our hip work, and we'll flip over and do the plank on the other side. And there's a chance I'll forget the other side plank, so maybe someone unmute and remind me if so. To get ready for the side plank, make sure that your lower shoulder is engaged. So not like this, but pushing away with the forearm in the mat and the elbow right under the shoulder. You can keep the bottom knee bent and just lift up so that your knee is on the floor like this. Totally fine. Could be here and just hold that. Or you can straighten both legs, kind of stack your feet and lift the bottom all the way up to the feet. And just hold that for as long as you've got. Breathing, you can reach up, or you can have your hand on your hip, whatever feels right. And when you're ready, lower. So we haven't been doing many of those. You'll feel your side. You can do more later if you want, but I don't want to torture anyone and give you cramps. That's something that we might start doing more. They're good for us, but I usually don't add them. So maybe do a couple this week. Next week, we'll try to hold longer and longer. All right, for our hip work, we're going to keep our hips stacked. Bring the bottom leg bent, top leg straight, and check in that you're kind of in alignment. Like if you were standing, this is the alignment you would be in. So your head is not forward, fetally positioned. Your back is neutral. Pull the tummy in, engaging that core again, and then lift the top leg up and reach down away from the head. And then we're going to do our bicycles. So as we bicycle, controlling forward, lengthening the back of the leg, bending the knee and reaching behind, keeping that core really engaged so that as we reach behind, we don't arch our back. Inhaling forward, bend, exhaling back. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. 2 more, inhale forward. Reach behind you, don't arch that back, keep the core engaged. If you need more stabilization, put your hand on the mat. Keep your leg back now, feel the glutes, and then shorten the hamstring, pulling the heel up to the buttock, then bring it forward and extend. 5 this direction. Every time you're back, hold it there and then shorten the hamstring, bring it forward and extend. So really taking momentum out of this, doing a lot of intentional movement. Breathing fully. Last one. And once you're finished with this one, bringing the leg down by your side, set it down for a moment. Punch out that gluteus medius if you're feeling it. We're going to really feel it in a minute. Go ahead and replace your hand to either the mat or your waist. Lift that leg up again. We're going to do 10 circles forward and then 10 back. So the circles are about the size of a nice watermelon or cantaloupe, and they're right in line with the body. So as we come forward and lift, you'll really feel the gluteus medius. And as you come down, you are controlling nice and slowly, really smooth circles. Breathing into the hip. As your hip starts feeling like it's working hard, breathe even deeper into it. Bring oxygen into that muscle. Good, and reverse once you think you've done approximately 10. Sometimes reversing is harder because you're lifting while the leg is back. So you're not able to use the hip flexors to help. It's all gluteus medius. Good, good, good stuff for your knees and your hips and everything. Good, couple more nice smooth circles. Nice, and let it rest, punch it out. Okay, my friends, one more challenge. We're going to do only two big circles each direction. So big circles meaning as big as you can. You're going to come forward and lift in a big round circle and see if you can control it as it comes back and down without rotating the body. Forward, inhale, lift. Control it as it goes back and down, and then bring it in line with the body and reverse. Go back, lift in a big, big circle. Draw a big circle with your toe. Super controlled. Nice work. And let it rest. Nice work. Okay, we are going to go ahead and roll to the other side and do our side plank. Again, you can do elbow and knee. So you're just lifting the space between the knee and the shoulder. You can hold that. It's a beautiful place to start if you haven't been doing planks. Or if you prefer, you can come both feet stacked and lift all the way up.
Still maintaining that nice tall position. Shoulders are stacked, lifting the hips and all the way down to the feet. Breathing, trying to keep the head in line with the body. And when you're ready, you can lower down. We'll do our little mermaid stretch after this. That'll be good for our side. All right, when you're done with side plank, go ahead and find your hip position. Hips stacked, belly pulled in, neutral spine. Head is relaxed on the arm, or you can get a pillow if your shoulder doesn't like that extended position. But I always like to have the whole body in good alignment. So head is in line with spine, nose in line with sternum, in line with belly button, all the way down. All right. Bicycling, lift the leg up in line with the body and reach down away from your head. Nice spacious hip there. And then coming forward, bend, extend, keeping control, using the core so that the only thing moving is that leg in the hip socket. Breathing fully, inhaling in, exhaling fully as you do this. Good job. One more this direction, then keep your leg back. Hold it there. Feel the glute. Keep that leg back, and then heel up to the buttock. Shortening your hamstrings on the back of the leg, and then extend. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. Good job. Monday morning, it's a good way to start your week. Getting a little bit of alignment and strengthening. A little bit of time for checking in with yourself and breathing. All right, come back to center. Let the leg rest if you need, punch it out. We're going to do those nice small circles first, about 10 each direction. Pointed toe, and you're just going to draw the little circle around the melon. Nice and slow. If you look down at your toe briefly, it should disappear for half of the circle. So it goes behind your line of sight, behind the line of your body for half of the circle. Good job, keeping that leg right in line with the body for about 10 and then reverse. Just so you know, that second hip, we've already worked it when it was down and stabilizing on the floor. So it is normal for this hip that we're doing second to feel really kind of more tired than the other hip. That is normal. Breathe into it. Make it work and let it go. Good. Punch it out. All right. The last thing is those 2 each direction giant circles. So again, with a pointed toe in line with the body, tighten that belly up. Forward, lift, big circle, move it around in the hip socket, back and controlled down. Forward, lift, back and down. And now backward, back, lift, forward and down, back, lift, forward and down. Beautiful job, everybody. Lower that leg and roll onto your back. We're going to stretch out the hip and then we'll do a quick mermaid stretch and then we will come up to standing. So my favorite hip stretch, especially after doing all of that, is figure 4. So crossing one ankle across the opposite knee. If that feels like a stretch, just hang there and embrace it and breathe. If you want, grab the thigh and pull the knees towards the chest. Breathing in deeply into whatever feels tight. As you exhale, bringing the knees toward the chest a little bit more, just to that comfortable stretch. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure you're using bent elbows to bring the knees up, not shoulder shrugging. Nobody needs to wear their shoulders for earrings. We do enough of that in our stressful computer lives. Breathing in deeply into whatever feels tight. So that hip that is stretching, you might feel it deep in the hip. You might feel it towards the sit bone. You might feel it more on the outside. You can rock side to side a little bit. You can move the ankle across the knee more to target those external rotators more, moving the ankle across, and then just breathing into it. Good. Unwind the legs, go the other way. So again, if you want to keep one foot on the mat, that's totally fine. Stretching here, you could bring your knee across a little bit to the opposite shoulder, and you could press it out, feeling a stretch in the hip and groin that way. Or you can grab the thigh, not the chin, but the back of the thigh, bend the elbows and exhale as you draw those knees up. Finding that comfortable stretch, that place where you can just let it be, allow, get a little curious about your body. What is it doing? How does it feel? How can your breath assist you in releasing pain or releasing tension or anything that you're holding? Every time you breathe deeply, inhaling into whatever's tight and exhaling, imagine it's literally melting out of you into the mat. Visualize it streaming out of you. You can do the same with pain. You can inhale into the pain. As you exhale, notice it loosening, the grip on you loosening. Notice it melting, just becoming a little softer. Release the legs, and we're going to sit up on our mats for a moment. If you want, if you had a hip, total hip replacement, don't do this one, please. Or sit on a chair right now. You do not have a total hip replacement. You can sit like I'm sitting with your knees a little bit off to one side, both feet to one direction. And if you can kind of sit up straight there, you're going to reach the arm that is opposite the way the feet are. So my feet are to my right, my left arm reaches up, 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 out of the hips. And once you are up, you can fold over to the side, stretching out your side, bending the elbow a little bit, and just curving over those feet. And then reaching up, inhaling tall, tall, tall. And we're going to put that hand down and then come over with the other arm. So come to the elbow and then reach over. And you might even rotate forward if that feels good on your back and your lats. And you might open up through the side and even reach back a little bit. And then coming up. And one more time up with that arm and over your feet. Good. And then go the other way. So swing your feet around. Like I said, if you have hip concerns, please do this on a chair, just sitting straight. And you can still do a lifting up out of the seat, up, 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 and over the feet, feeling length in the side. And inhale tall from the waist up through that hand. From that length, bring it to the mat and fold down onto your elbow. Opposite arm reaches up and over, reaching out away from the feet. And here you can rotate and down towards the mat. Feel a nice stretch. And you might open up the chest, feeling a nice stretch there. And as you inhale, pushing back up, using that arm to push you up and bringing it down. One more time, folding, opposite arm reaching up and folding over the feet. This is what I call a mermaid stretch. And you can go back and forth through it. So sometimes you can just move through it back and forth, and that can feel really nice back and forth. It's up to you. But it's really nice to find something that stretches out your sideline. We don't do enough of that. So whatever it is, something that gets that side is really nice. Okay, my friends, we are going to come up to standing for a moment. So go ahead and just, we're not even going to come through down dog because we are running out of our standing time. Come up to standing and either have a chair near you or a wall. And we're going to take our little ball and set it under the foot, whatever foot you want. So make sure that you're standing tall first. Find that nice tall mountain pose so that you don't collapse in your hip. Then unweight one foot, set it on the ball using the chair or wall for balance. And we're going to start at the big toe and roll along the arch back toward the heel. And then come forward toward the big toe and back towards the heel. Rolling out the arch, now coming toward the second toe as you come forward and back. Now, noticing if you have a tendency to smash your ball and try to force and torture the fascia on your foot. If so, go a little gentler. You want to feel the pressure, but you also want to kind of allow the ball to work the fascia, which is not super deep. So just kind of allowing a fan motion from the heel towards each toe, moving laterally as you go and back toward the heel. Once you're done with that, make sure you're still supporting on that standing hip really well. We're getting work where we just worked again on that gluteus medius. Find a spot in your arch. So roll around a little bit. Find a spot in your arch that might feel a little tender or a little tight. Take a deep breath and allow the ball to just sit on that spot as you really let the foot go. Let the toes go, let the heel go. Try to let the foot kind of curve over the ball and just allow for the ball to assist you in letting go of that tension in the foot. The foot, working the foot with the ball is kind of a magical alchemy sort of situation for the whole body because we hold a lot of tension in the feet. We ignore our feet a lot. And there are points in the feet, acupressure, acupuncture, reflexology points that connect to the whole body. So sometimes you can find a spot and maybe it's a lung point or something and you can release it and you don't even know maybe what that's doing upstream. Just allow and trust your body and know that it's all in the good of your higher self and your most healed body. Go ahead and switch sides. You usually will feel a release, sort of a letting go of the tension and kind of a melting if you hold it long enough. Sometimes it takes 1 to 2 minutes. Go ahead and do a fans back and forth on that other foot. Make sure you're standing. I was kind of collapsing in my hip. Make sure you're standing strongly in that standing hip. Keeping your hips level as you do a nice fan back and forth, rolling out the hip. I feel like today went really fast and I need like 2 hours to do everything that I want to do, but that's not happening. So come back next week and we'll finish the body. Yeah, I was going slow. I don't know. Anyway, roll back and forth. And then when you're done with the fanning, find that spot. There might be a few of them. Find the most intense one. And if you need more work, grab your ball later. You can do it while you're sitting too. Find a spot and then let the toes go, let the heel go, breathe into it.
See if you can notice any energy being released, maybe from that point up into your body. You might notice a buzzing or a releasing or a flowing feeling. You may or may not be aware of it. Just checking in. Good job. And breathing into it, maybe asking for it to release. And when you are ready, kicking that ball out of the way, we're going to do 2 standing things. One is just a lunge. So bringing our body facing the chair if you want, or you don't need it. Nice long stretch, one foot in front of the other, hips facing forward, really tall out of the body. And we're just going to lunge forward, bending that front leg, wiggling your toes forward as much as you need to as you come down so that the knee is right over the ankle. The back leg stretches long, pressing the heel down towards the floor, but it doesn't need to stay on the floor. And if you're not using the chair for balance, maintaining this forward facing hip, reach up, thumbs facing up, 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 reach up overhead with the arms, long through the body, lifting through the heart, grounded through the feet, feeling the stretch along the front of you, and then slowly lowering down. And when you are ready, stepping onto the front leg and switching sides. Other leg back. Really long stance. Make sure your hips are facing forward, right over the legs there, not rotated. And then bending that front leg. You might need to wiggle your toes a little bit, bending down into it, knee over the ankle, facing forward. Find length through that back leg, pressing the heel towards the floor, feeling the calf stretch. You'll also feel the front of that hip as you stretch the hip flexors. You're welcome to use the chair for balance, lengthening up through the body, up through the top of the head, lifting the heart. If you can, thumbs facing up, raising up overhead, up, 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 lifting the heart, lifting out of the hips, even as the foot goes down into the mat. Breathing deeply. Finding your balance, sinking a little more into that front knee if you can, and then releasing the arms down. Pushing with the back leg, step forward onto the front leg and release. Okay, last thing, I'm going to do a little balance. So have the chair nearby or a wall nearby just in case you need it. We're going to put our feet one in front of the other. So heel to toe, tandem stance. And then first we're just going to find a nice tall posture there. This might feel like enough of a challenge, just getting your feet there, belly button pulled in, let the tailbone sink down towards the floor, neutral spine, we're not standing like this. Grounded there. If this is easy, then I want you to let go of the chair, stand, and then I want you to really ground, roots into the earth, into the floor, through those 2 feet. You have a narrow base, but really ground yourself. And then we're going to be branches of a tree being flexible in the wind, down and up, and then try kind of twisting a little bit, one way over the body and the other way, and maybe arms go opposite ways, and try to challenge that base with the arms moving all around in crazy motions. You can bring them around like you're doing the butterfly stroke. I used to race that, that's a fun one. Rotating again. And if this feels easy and you are such a very grounded tree, bring your hands back to your sides and try to close your eyes. Keep a chair nearby in case you need it for safety. Just see if you can close your eyes, keeping maybe a fingertip hovering over the chair, finding those roots going deeper and deeper into the mat, into the floor, into the earth. Woo, and then we notice how much our vision helps us. All right, switch, open the eyes, switch which foot is in front, and find that tall posture, lifting up, grounded through the feet, fingertip as needed on the chair. Find your balance. Sacrum goes down. We're really neutral in the spine. And then start moving like a tree. You can move however you want. No choreograph here. You could just flow like a flexible tree. And I want you to think about how we show up in this chaotic world. Grounded, rooted, and moving with the winds, being flexible, holding our center. Be like the tree. Good. When you're ready, allowing your arms to come down, maybe hovering a fingertip over the chair, and try the closing of the eyes. And notice how much more challenging it is for your ankles and your hips to maintain that balance. Notice if your weight is kind of between both legs, or if you've shifted only to the back leg, try to bring it right between them. And just wiggle and enjoy the challenge here with your eyes closed as long as you can. We really rely on our vision so much, but sometimes we don't have vision and we still need to keep our balance. So sometimes we're in the dark, we still need to stay balanced. Just challenging that with the eye closed is really, really useful. All right, go ahead and open your eyes. It is time to do a little ending meditation. It is almost 11 and I know that I'm going over it. So if anyone needs to leave, I absolutely understand. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next Monday, but if you have a few minutes, I'll try to do about a 5-minute meditation. I'm going to sit, but I encourage you, I'm only doing that because I feel like I shout if I lay down and I don't have good sound system hooked up. I encourage you to lie down. I encourage you to cover yourself up with a blanket, find a pillow under your knees or under your head, whatever makes you feel comfortable and safe and held. Make yourself a little cocoon of safety around yourself. And then just allowing your body to become heavy, releasing all those muscles that you've worked. Let the belly go, let the breath come deeply into the belly, allowing it to rise with the inhale and fall with the exhale. Becoming the observer again of the breath, watching it coming in, feeling what it feels like, the cool air coming down the throat, entering the lungs, feeling that expansion with breath and life. And being the observer as it leaves, your belly falls and the warmed air just leaves your body. Through the nose, feel your body get heavier and more relaxed. Feel the safety of this moment. Really allow the safety of right now, of you here, having spent an hour with yourself and with your breath. Feel the comfort. And allow yourself to really let into every cell of your being the safety of right now. And notice that right now you're not trying to control anything, you've just let go. If there's anywhere that you are still trying to control, just release it. Thank it. Inhale into that place and let it go. Let it be heavy, let it melt. If your mind is starting to whir, come back to being the observer of your breath. Inhaling in, allowing the belly to rise. And exhaling, letting it fall. Surrender to your moment, surrender to your breath. Letting go of our need to change and control and orchestrate. Noticing the peace within the surrender to the breath. Noticing the peacefulness that comes over you when you become the observer. Noticing the energy in your body, feeling the coursing of energy, pulsing in the hands and the fingertips. Feel your heart space. Notice how when you are in a place of surrender, a place of safety, notice how your heart can expand, can open. If you feel closed in the heart space, think of something beautiful, a place that you love, or a person, a child, a grandchild, a beautiful place that you feel held and peaceful. And as you visualize that, feel your heart space open. Feel the gates that you so tightly hold closed open up and release. And allow yourself to feel that surrender. Allow that to be okay, that you are open and vulnerable. Allow the love of that person or place to really fill you. And you will keep this filling as you go out into the world. Let it sustain you. Deeply into the belly again. As you feel the belly expand, feel the heart also expand a little bit more. Send a blessing out upon the whole earth. Imagine the light and the love of your heart going around the entire earth with just a blessing of love and peace and surrender. Feel the interconnected, the love, feeling of peacefulness. A blessing that the world would feel that peace. When you're ready, breathing into your belly again and starting to bring your awareness off of the whole world and back into your body here on the mat. Feeling your attention come back to your toes and your fingertips and the energy coursing through you, your own vital power and energy. With your next breath, with an intention to come fully back into your body, breathe deeply all the way down to your toes. Wiggle your toes. As you exhale, wiggle your fingers. And when you are back, rolling onto your side, pushing up into your seated position. Keeping your eyes closed as you find your sit bones again. Breathing into an open heart, a peaceful state within. Maybe set an intention to carry with you something of this practice, whatever calls to you. Something into the world, a way of being, a way of showing up. Feeling those roots, feeling that flexibility, feeling that groundedness, feeling the peacefulness, the surrender, and just allowing all of that to be and to hold you. Thank you all for joining me. I cherish our time together, and blessings on all of you and on our whole big, beautiful, messy world.
Yeah.
Every day, bless the world.
Have a good week.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Great. Very good.
Thank you, Anne. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'll be in touch.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.